you guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test.
I'm going to just close my eyes and count, and somebody talks. 5, 4, 3.
Hey, welcome back to Convincing
Hi.
Idiots. This is segment number 2. I'm Millennial Nick, alongside Gen X, and Brian and Jal Smith Dean there. For our main topic this evening, we are going to discuss a list of our top favorite animated superhero TV shows of all time, ever. Period.
Mhm.
So I want to hear from Dean. Dean, you're a big superhero guy, and you do love your cartoons.
I do. Number one on my list is unmistakable. It should be the number one on everybody's list. The superhero of all superheroes, Aaron Blake. With Blake Insurance. Because the Blake Insurance Group is an independent agency located right here in Barberton, offering personal care and support for all of your insurance needs. If you need auto, home, business, or life insurance, give Aaron a call. He'll treat you with the honesty and respect that you deserve. You're getting louder and louder with this. Call the Blake Insurance Group at 234-571-5359 or find them online at BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you do, tell them that these characters sent you.
Very good.
Aaron
Nice,
Blake,
nice subtle background music.
insurance man that you can
Subtle.
trust.
It's
Yeah.
a fucking dump truck.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you feel overshadowed by my impressive thinking on the fly and how to improve your ad read?
Yes. Yes, I did.
I think I saw as well that celebrated a wedding anniversary in the Blake Insurance home, if I saw that
Nice.
correctly on social media. 15 years of marriage, it looks like. So
Nice.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
15
Blake
years for
family.
Blasha.
Yeah,
That's right.
Very nice. Very nice. Congratulations.
By the time you hear this, one Aaron Blake will be the proud new owner of his very first piece of Toronto Maple Leafs fan gear.
Oh,
That's right. Aaron is always my Maple Leafs playoffs buddy. He's always watching the games and texting me during them, and we have our own mantras that we come into the postseason with. And I felt that this year Aaron deserved a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. Or not
Very
jersey.
nice.
I didn't get him a jersey.
Wow,
Those are
that's
more expensive. Maybe. Although with all the money that he shaves me on insurance, I probably could afford
you
a jersey for him.
could
Really.
afford it
But
at this point.
yeah, he will have a nice piece of Toronto Maple Leafs, a shirt to wear for the playoff run this
very
year.
nice.
So
Very nice.
Brian and I just text each other with fucking tears during the Browns games.
yeah,
Yep.
makes sense.
Yep. Browns, Cowboys, same difference.
Sure.
Although Joe Flacco's back, so I'm
That is exciting. That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
fucking excited.
He
Yes.
could be the superhero that Cleveland needs.
Yeah.
That's right. Put
Very
a
And
possible.
the
table.
real one, not animated like the ones we're about to talk about.
Nope.
That's right. That's right. So, do you want to give us your first?
My first real one is Superman himself. Superman, the animated series from the 90s. It was, I was, don't know if I was like super into like cartoons in general, but it was Superman. So, and it was on at a convenient time after school. Followed up or maybe Batman was first. I watched both, but my heart lies with the Man of Steel, the Last Son of Krypton. Superman, the animated series, is my number one.
Nice.
Very good.
Brian, what about you?
One of my favorite shows growing up. There was different versions of the animated Justice League throughout the years. My favorite version, though, as a kid, was the Challenge of the Super Friends. Now, this was the Super Friends versus the Legion of Doom. Had the Darth Vader looking base.
Meanwhile, in the halls of justice.
That's right. The Legion of Doom headquarters that rise out of a swamp. Why were they in the swamp? I don't know. Just for the effects, I guess.
Why?
It was cool. That's why.
It was
Swamps are
cool.
scarier.
It was cool. It had the classic, Super Friends, of course, but then they brought in other characters. They had to, they wanted to be very inclusive, right? So you had characters of all races and
the Native American guy who grew. Like,
that's right.
Do a 50-foot tall? Was it the 50-foot tall?
It was Chief something. No, he just grew into a giant. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was a Native American in blue jeans and a denim cut-off shirt.
Hell yeah,
like
brother.
A sleeveless denim shirt.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
They grew to 50 feet. That was his superpower.
Right. Nice. Yeah, just various parts. But then the Legion of Doom, they had some basics, very good villains like Lex Luthor ran it, and they had some, but then they had some just like outskirt type villains. Like they had the Riddler from Batman and Scarecrow, not the Joker, which I thought was good. I like to see those other side characters, get more of a, screen time, I guess. They had Black Manta, they had the zombie guy. What's that?
What did you say?
Black Mantis?
Black Manta?
I think I said
Black
Manta. Mantis.
To me, you didn't finish the word.
Manta? Is it Manta?
Black Manta is from Aquaman.
That was it. It was Black Manta then.
Yeah,
it was Black Manta.
All I know is it didn't sound like you finished the word. It just sounded like you said Black Man was one of the villains. I'm like, oh well, I don't believe that.
Yeah. Anyway, very good. A lot of fun. You can find all those, by the way, all those variations on Max, all those DC, all the animated series, all the Super Friends, everything is out there. If you're a DC fan, get yourself Max and find everything there. So, Nick, what about you?
I'm going to go with one that was kind of mentioned already. It's the one that either came on before or after. We don't remember. Dean's show. Batman, the animated series. It was really cool. I always loved the art style of it, the way it was drawn. It just had a kind of the intro was super cool. The red backdrop and the cape flowing in the wind, standing on the top of the building. And it had obviously Robin in it and all the classic Batman villains. And what I liked a lot about it as a kid was like, true to Batman. It focused not only on the crime fighting thing, but also like the detective work that he did and how he would piece things together. And I always thought that was really cool. But yeah, love the Batman. Love Batman the animated series. Obviously, Mark Hamill was the voice of the Joker in Batman the animated series. Fantastic job there. Just always really liked it. Always liked the art. Like I said, the way that a lot of those characters were drawn, like I find in my head that those villains from Batman, that's not like the Jokers, that like Mr. Freeze, Scarecrow, the renditions of them from Batman the animated series are the ones that pop in my head, and not necessarily those that were depicted in comic books. Just because that's what I grew up with, and that's just kind of I think how I learned about a lot of those characters. But always really loved that. I think it was on from like 94 to 90. I don't know, 7 or 8 or something like that. Had a good run, but great show. Love that one. Love watching that after school. Batman the animated series.
1992 to 1995.
Oh. Okay. Well, I was off a few years in both directions, but all right. So, yeah.
Gen X Brian here from the Convincing Idiots podcast. If you're enjoying our show, tell a friend. And if you're not, well, tell 2 enemies.
Dean, what is your next mission? It is you.
All right, I wanted to think a little bit outside the box here, but still stick with, a superhero. And what is more superhero than saving the planet? Boys and girls, I'm going with Captain Planet.
Sure,
he's our hero.
He was a superhero, and
take pollution down to zero.
Those kids were superheroes, right? I mean,
they were.
They were the
the rings.
They had the rings.
Yeah.
Water, was it wind,
Earth.
water,
Water.
wind, water, fire,
Heart. Heart was one of them. Heart.
heart.
The little Indian kid was Heart. Heart.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So you get like what probably I always assumed was the original mock-up for the Silver Surfer. You just put a green wig on him and rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would be dope? If the Silver Surfer had a green mullet. That'd be awesome.
Dude, I never thought of it that way. Let's fucking go. And you know how the Silver Surfers always want to destroy the planet? Again, opposite, save the planet.
Yeah.
And that is the first. That's the elevator pitch for Captain Planet.
Yeah,
Love
Captain Planet and crew, I've heard on good authority, all locked up in Guantanamo Bay right now. Locked away.
Yeah, that's
Locked
the
away.
unfortunate.
No, for talking like climate change and so forth.
Right.
Locked away.
Yeah.
Locked away. Terrible.
I mean the
Terrible.
irony that the girl that had the water one just got locked up by ice.
Yep.
The pure irony is it's not
Horrible.
lost.
Yeah.
on me.
Yeah, you're right. Terrible.
Awful.
I don't know. All right, my next submission, I'm wearing a shirt that depicts him, a classic Spider-Man. Spider-Man had a lot of series, of course, throughout the years. Yeah, even the recent ones on Disney Plus, which is pretty good. I haven't seen them all yet, but the ones I've seen are pretty good. But this is the classic, the original, 1966, the animated series Spider-Man. Now, this is the one like you just sang it. That's the classic theme. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. And those are, if you haven't seen those, I do have the box set of that. I'm not sure if they're out there streaming somewhere, but I have the complete box set of that series. That was one that was an after school type deal, probably on Channel 43 here locally in Cleveland, one of those things. But it was very, very good. It was very in line with the 1960s comic Spider-Man. So this is Peter Parker, the 1960s looking Peter Parker, high school, working at the Daily Bugle. J. Jonah Jameson's a pain in the ass, all that stuff, fighting all the classic Spider-Man villains, Electro, Rhino, Doc Ock, anyone, Green Goblin, all those classic original heroes, just so good. 27 minutes each, and everybody shows it in color. It was Spider-Man in color was the opening, part of the opening of the show. So just very, very good. If you can find that, or what we'll pop in some of those on some movie nights and all that. Let you experience some of that.
Did this come around like just as like color TV was becoming
I think
a
so.
thing? Okay.
I think it was in '66, so I'm sure it was something, but probably not everybody had color, and not all broadcasts were probably in color, maybe necessarily.
Yeah.
Sure.
They specifically advertised that this was in color. I don't know if it was a primetime thing or a Saturday morning thing originally, but very well done. Very well
You think
done.
the poor kids who couldn't afford the color television, when that came on, said,
legit.
"Now in color," and they just go, "Fuck you, Spider-Man."
Yep, could be.
Okay.
And this is the origination of the famous meme where you see Spider-Man standing there pointing
at each other.
That's from the original 1966 animated show. So there you have it.
Nice.
There you go. Spider-Man 66.
Cool. I'll piggyback right off that and roll right into mine, which is the Spider-Man, the animated series.
Yes.
So all the things that you just said about yours is the same deal. I that's the one that I grew up with. I will say, to their discredit, some of these that we've mentioned, 90s cartoons for superheroes, not original names. They're all just that guy and then the animated series.
Correct.
Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, the same thing, just the animated series.
Well, I was very happy that they did that though, because when Superman came, I was gonna be very confused when the animation came on, and I would have thought it was like a real fucking person. So I'm glad they told us, oh, it's animated. Oh, good.
Why does he look like that? Yeah, right.
What's wrong with Superman? Why is Batman's look? Why is his chin so big? It's animated. Oh, okay, good. Thank you.
I was concerned. You should go see a doctor.
Yeah, it's not natural.
Yeah, but the Spider-Man series, same deal. And another thing that I enjoyed about it, because Brian, as we've mentioned, we both are big Spider-Man fans, both like a lot of those villains, but my favorite being Venom. When yours was on, Venom had not yet been created
Oh,
in the
that's
comics.
right.
So by the time
Right.
that mine came along, that was that was actually the character's first on-screen portrayal.
Okay.
Because there were no movies, there's no TV shows depicting Venom, but by the time Venom was created, that was the first time that Venom was actually, a character outside of the comic book pages in the Spider-Man
Interesting.
universe. So definitely like that one. Yeah, very, very cool. Spider-Man animated series.
Very
Good watch.
good. Excellent.
Ding!
Okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to go. I think it started in this. It definitely started in the 70s. It was. What is better than having one superhero when you can have like 5 fucking limbs
Oh, okay.
to form said superhero?
Okay.
Voltron.
Yes.
Voltron.
Yeah.
It was set in a futuristic type world.
Yep.
Yeah, they copied off the Power Rangers. That's right. That was that show.
That's mathematically not accurate.
It was lions. It was like robot lions.
They're robot lions who long ago was sent. Voltron was a being, like he was a protector, and then this magic bad guy broke him up and sent him to corners of the earth, and then later, whatever generations later, this team gets together and they can now get now lions, and what formed this giant metal robot, because oddly enough, that was the same time that all these gigantic monsters started attacking the earth. So good thing you have a giant robot to protect you.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that it was even the storyline. I remember I was like invested in it. It wasn't even the idea of like, superhero, the big metal monsters and fighting everything. No, like they actually had intricate ongoing storylines for like the humans, which I remember really getting into and such. I really did enjoy Voltron quite a bit, and my understanding is that they're trying to do a live action movie.
I have heard that rumor. Yeah. Yep.
Did you watch the Netflix show that was?
No, I watched one episode, but it didn't feel right. Like it wasn't the same as what I remembered, so I didn't really go forward with it. But I think Henry Cavill was said to be in talks.
Yes, that's right. You're right.
Oh.
Yep, we'll
that
see.
would be cool. I would enjoy that.
Sure.
Maybe. I mean, I also thought I would have enjoyed Transformers. So who the fuck knows?
If they did it right, I'm interested. I used to watch that too as a kid. Yeah, another one of those rerun shows on local television. Yep.
And who knows when it actually fucking started?
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna give you one of the strangest animated superhero shows of all time. Very strange. It was so strange it was very good. Ran from 94 to 97. Definitely had kind of a cult following there, and actually made a live action version of this show later that I watched maybe a few episodes of here. But The Tick, gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever watch the animated show The Tick, or maybe the live action? Live action show had the guy who played Putty on the Seinfeld. Very good voice for that guy, but just a strange, bizarre. Tick was just a giant guy. It was like impervious or something like that, like a tick.
Yeah.
And he had a sidekick that dressed like a bunny. For some reason. Why? I'm not exactly sure. Arthur, that was the guy's name, Arthur. Just kind of a weird, middle-aged type guy, just sort of there. And the Tick was just over the top, heroic and huge and everything. It's kind of stupid.
Just really ridiculous looking. I know of the Tick from the cartoon. Was the Tick a comic book character prior, or is it one of those ones that they made comic books of it after the show kind of
it
had.
was-
I think it was
popular.
that. Go ahead.
I actually can tell you right here. The
Go
Tick
ahead.
is a superhero created by cartoonist Ben Unland in 1986 as a newsletter mascot for the
Oh,
New
there you
England comic chain of Boston area comic book
There
stores.
you have it.
Okay.
Character is a parody of American comic book superheroes, and then it goes and tell you about the
Okay.
cartoons.
So
and
as
then,
far as comic series, that happened after the cartoons, but he was drawn as a
that's when it
mascot
appears.
before the cartoon. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
the cover of the first one of the comic book version looks like it didn't come out till 98. So
Okay, it's after the show. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, just bizarre, great artwork, strange. Yeah, the voice work was fantastic. The guy that did the Tick was phenomenal. But yeah, just I don't even know if it's out there. You probably could find it at the very least on Blu-ray, I would assume. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I caught episodes of that because it was on the Fox Kids lineup.
Okay.
So Power Rangers was Fox Kids, Spider-Man the animated series was Fox Kids. I believe that was so actually probably a lot of these '90s ones we're talking about because I'm pretty sure Batman was part of that, and if it came on after Superman or before, that would have been part of it too. So I think all of those were kind of part of that like Fox Kids lineup, that after-school programming block. But yeah, it was interesting.
The man's name was Townsend Coleman.
Yes.
Did the voice for the animated series.
Awesome.
Townsend Coleman.
Yeah, he was great.
Nice. All right. My third pick is so as much as I love my kids' cartoons, this cartoon was very not for children, as this neither really is the character, but Todd McFarlane's Spawn on HBO was fucking fantastic.
So badass.
It literally and the thing was too, it was like it if you're familiar with the comics as well, like they followed the comic storyline and animation style so closely that it's like they literally brought the comic book to life and it was moving. Like it was like you were reading issues of Spawn, but you know what I mean? Like it wasn't, they didn't take a comic book character and make a cartoon out of it. They literally it felt like you were watching a comic book in motion, which I thought was a really cool vibe for that. And like I said, the subject matter of Spawn is incredibly adult oriented. So it's, not like a kid's cartoon. It's very violent and over the top in a lot of ways. But what's the name of the guy that did the voice of Spawn? He used to do those like the U.S. Navy commercials. He was the voice. Is the black guy with the real deep voice, and he had he's been in a bunch of things. He was the voice of Al Simmons in the HBO series.
Keith David.
Yes.
Yeah, he fought Rowdy Piper in
They Live.
What was it? They Live.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Keith David also, Nick, he was the last guy with Kurt Russell in The Thing, the final.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Damn, I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those guys that's been just peppered throughout like pop culture in different roles that you've seen everywhere all the time. And his voice is iconic. Like once you hear his voice, you know exactly what his face looks like. You know exactly who it is. Even though I didn't know his name, you know what I mean? I could put a face to his voice every time.
If you ever I don't know. There's ever a time. There's a little tangent, but if there's ever a time that you find yourself to watch the movie Men at Work, he is in it. It is one of the only movies Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen starred together.
Okay.
They were trash men. They were brothers, but they were trash men, and Keith David was like their boss or some shit. Really super funny role for him. Like he plays like this deranged, crazy guy, but like, yeah, it's good. If you ever get a chance, and again, I don't know if you're going to search out such a movie, but it was one of those that was on HBO a lot for a brief period of time. It's a good movie.
I feel like I have zero happening today. I have nothing. I can't even muster up the energy.
Right.
Just ask for Men at Work. Yeah.
The only thing I have
they pay you 5 cents to watch it. Go ahead.
The only thing I have motivation to do is find the one time that Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen co-starred together in a movie.
Movie magic, ladies and gentlemen. Movie magic. Whose turn is it? I think it's my turn, right?
Dean's.
Am I after Dean?
It is.
Did you go, Dean?
Shit.
No, you
Oh,
just
no.
went.
I went. That
You
was
went
Dean's turn. Yes.
Spawn.
It's my turn.
I
It's my
Dean's
turn.
turn now. Dean's turn. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But Dean used his for Men at Work, so Brian's up.
Men at Work, the animated series. Now that didn't last too long.
No, it didn't. Actually, it probably wouldn't be a horrible backyard movie for us all. So, all right.
I'll put it on. I want people to leave. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jim Cotta. If we all stayed for fucking Jim Cotta, I think we'll all stay for Men at Work.
Still a good movie. Go ahead.
All right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 90s.
Yeah.
Not the newer ones where they're weirdly drawn or try to be like the cool animation. No, like the 90s animation where I think Michelangelo was voiced by the same guy who fucking did nearly every voice character. I think the same guy who did Garfield, maybe. Or something like that. Lorenzo Music, I believe, was his name. But yeah, it was
Music? Lorenzo Music?
I believe
What
that
a
was
name.
his name. What?
No, nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I loved it. I was a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kid. That cartoon was like my sweet spot for like animation.
Good one.
Yeah, I loved it. So
yeah,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that definitely helped launch like all the the video games and that whole other level movies and everything else. If that wasn't such a hit, might not have seen as much of that out there at the time. So very good. Another one, Saturday mornings. One of my favorite shows as a kid. Voiced. I mean, you're hard pressed to find a better voice ever. It's definitely one of the top voices, probably. The great Scatman Crothers. Now, you might remember him from The Shining. I don't know, but he voiced a superhero show in the 70s, Hong Kong Phooey. Gentlemen.
Hong Kong Phooey.
Everybody knows his theme. You probably never even watched the show, but most people, if you start singing that theme, it's like, oh yeah, that's Hong Kong Phooey.
He was a dog, right?
Yes, it was a dog that knew kung fu, but he was clumsy and dumb, but he kept getting bailed out by his cat named Spot.
Yes, that's right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he was a janitor in a police station, so that's where he got the inside scoop on things that was going on, and then he would, racially, does it hold up a little bit? I'm not so exactly sure. He hits a gong that to change it to whatever, but that's okay. It wasn't done to like make fun of anybody. It was just
paying tribute to a culture. Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah, but just great voice and great theme, just a lot of fun. Love the show, love the character. Always like Scatman Crothers. Hong Kong Phooey, gentlemen.
Fantastic.
Yes.
My next one, stretching it a bit because it might bend the rules of what's like. It's not fully animated, but it's mostly animated, and he certainly is a superhero, Space Ghost, but coast to coast. The talk show. This is not a show that is flexing his super.
That show's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was not a show in which flexed his superpower. But nonetheless, the late night talk show, which Space Ghost is the anchor there, is the host of the show, and the interviewer, and also featuring Moltar and Zorak and Brack, and they have different people have people on there. Very zany interviews. A lot of people of the mid to late '90s fame. Very, very much enjoyed Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I'll tell you what, if you're ever, I would say nothing to do, right, as the Men at Work kind of deal, but maybe you've had a little a jazz cabbage in your life, throw on some Space Ghost Coast to Coast. You won't regret it. It's always a good time. Actually, if you're already partaking in jazz cabbage, Space Ghost Coast to Coast was made for you. That's why they made that show.
That's right. And I think a lot of those interviews are very, if you've never seen it, is very Between Two Ferns-esque. Like you weren't sure if they knew what they were being asked.
Right.
Like you didn't know what the fuck was really going on in the interviews. Would interrupt to kill people.
Yeah.
So
Did they? Yeah, it was very disjointed with the interaction of the two because that whole type of, I mean, really, it was as much as we like. Oh yeah, it's just probably like people in a high, high in a room that were like, this would be funny to
no,
do,
that
and then
took
they made
a
it.
lot of fucking thought.
But like
into
it
the
was
show.
quite genius. It was it was a pioneer of something like that, and really not much has
Right.
been done quite like. I mean, this is before there were all these CGI movies with screen actors acting with a green screen and pretending something was there. I mean, this was interaction between someone live and in person
Right. To
versus
this day,
a
I don't
cartoon
know
character.
if they knew they were being interviewed by Space Ghost or
Yeah,
if it
well,
was
they
a
would address
producer
him. They would
talking to them.
say, well, what's that Space Ghost? Like some of them would
Right. So,
talk
but
to
maybe,
address Space Ghost.
but obviously they weren't looking at the cartoon character. So
Sure,
maybe
yeah.
it's just a producer reading off questions type thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome. I loved it.
But it was, and there again, it was kind of like one of those. It was, I feel like it was kind of like it was the foundation of what we now know as Adult Swim. Like
Yeah,
that was the late night cartoon that was a cartoon character, and it was out there, and it was off the wall, and they were only going to play it late at night because it's so fucking weird, and nobody was going to like bank on that for anything.
It was also when they had like the late night wars happening with Letterman and Leno.
Yeah.
Like when all of these, you had Arsenio Hall. When all of this late night craze was happening, I think it kind of hit its sweet spot there for the stoner version.
Sure. Yeah. Yep. So Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Absolutely love it.
That's
fantastic. All right, before I go on to my next one, I do want to give a caveat where I said where I thought Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was played by Lorenzo Music. It is not the case. Actually, it was played by Townsend Coleman.
Oh, the same guy that did the Tick.
Oh, look at that.
How about that?
He did Michelangelo and Shredder.
Well, how about that?
Cool.
There you have it.
Fun little thing. All right, last one I have, Thundercats. Thundercats.
That was fun.
Oh,
That was fun. Yeah.
I mean, if you look back on it, it's very strange, maybe problematic in some aspects.
A little too sexy for children sometimes.
Too sexy, but like weird furry sexy. Like, why is that cat giving me a weird boner? There's a lot about it that was very strange. But as a kid,
Thundercats. Oh.
No. I fucking love that show. I mean, let's even take the idea that like when it was time to like go into action, his sword got bigger and bigger and bigger as he is just wearing tidy whities with his kitten legs or whatever. Yeah, something was happening there. I don't know what, but something was happening in my pants. I know that. Thundercats is the last of my list, gentlemen.
I'm going to give you X-Men, the animated series.
Sure.
Yep, good one.
Super good. I mean, X-Men 97, and then of course, they have new episodes. They pick up the storyline from X-Men 97 out there on Disney Plus. Is it Disney
Yes.
Plus? Yes. Fantastic. I mean, they pick up the storyline from there. It has the same look and feel to it, but that original series, they got the X-Men correct. That was like the first, early versions of seeing the X-Men on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were a fan of the comics and everything like that, it's like that is what Wolverine looked, sounded like, Gambit, all those characters.
Yeah.
Great voice work, great animation, great storylines. I didn't watch it all the time. It was 97. Now I'm in my 20s, but that was a show even still. It was not uncommon to have a late night Friday night and wake up Saturday morning, make my way out to the chair and sit there and recover a bit and watch X-Men on Saturday morning. Just
eating some Cocoa
great
Puffs.
show. Sure.
Yeah.
Great show. Well done.
Yep. Very
That's
good.
my 5.
All right. And for my last
that.
submission, Brian, I will speak to that sentiment. You're never too old to pick up a new cartoon and love it dearly, because this is the newest one on my list. I only discovered it because I now have children and they liked it so much. And it's probably my favorite cartoon I've ever seen, period. And it's Teen Titans Go. It's fucking
go.
hilarious. It is by far the funniest cartoon that I've ever seen. And I absolutely adore it, even more than all the cartoons I grew up with. I love Teen Titans Go. Fantastic. You know, Robin, Beast Boy, Cyborg, Raven, Starfire. I was not familiar with any of these characters. Like, I obviously knew Cyborg from the Justice League, Robin, obviously
Sure.
Batman and Robin. Didn't know of any of these other characters. And there was a Teen Titans cartoon in the, I think, early to mid 2000s that was really popular, where they were more teenage. But this is kind of drawn in a more goofy kid style, but a lot of the humor is for adults as well. You can tell the people who write that show are certainly in the age bracket of like myself and Dean. There's tons of references to pop culture throughout the 80s and 90s that are tied into it, and a lot of little jokes and things like that kids find funny because it's done in a goofy enough way that they think it's funny. But also it's like the content of it is for the parents, I feel like. So I absolutely love Teen Titans Go. I widely talk about it in my house as my favorite cartoon ever. It's like, in my opinion, it's the best cartoon ever made. So Teen Titans Go, absolutely love it. Cartoon Network.
Excellent.
Yeah. Any honorable mentions, fellers?
Yeah.
The only honorable mention I had, just thinking about it, What If? Now, when I say that, I mean the first two seasons.
What if? What if? What if? What if? Ah! Doesn't Scott Stapp deserve an animated series?
I think he does.
Yeah.
There's a fun little question there somewhere.
Sure.
Rock and roll, comics, anime. Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Let's work on that one.
Sure.
My
top 3 cartoons you want to see Scott Stapp inserted into anime.
I don't mind that at all. No, What If Marvel, the last season, did not care for. I don't think anybody did. It wasn't great. But the rest of it, the first couple seasons were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'll put that as my honorable mention.
Yeah.
Nick, you have any?
Yeah, I had X-Men down on mine, which you already talked about. The other one that you kind of mentioned briefly was the new one on Disney Plus, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. That's really good. There again, similar. It has they do a really good job of marrying kind of the classic comic feel as well as putting a modern twist on it, and it's really cool. Like, it takes place in modern day, but it kind of follows along with the
it's a different history
story and stuff. Yeah, and it is. It's not following anything to a T. It's kind of putting its own spin, no pun intended or intended, on Spider-Man. But yeah, it's really great. Me and the kids like watching it, and Spider-Man been hitting home runs nonstop in the last like decade plus. Like, every Spider-Man with the Tom Holland movies, the cartoons, the Spider-Verse movies are probably in my opinion, they're the best superhero movies I've ever seen. They're just so good, and so everything Spider-Man related has just been really great. So, but yeah, the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the new cartoon on Disney Plus, deserves an honorable mention.
Yeah, very good. I got a couple here. Also, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 90s. Another Spider-Man one. This is, again, Saturday mornings for me. It's a strange version. You can find it out there on Disney Plus. It's Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. This is Peter Parker in college. He's roommates with the guy Iceman. Why? Don't know. Never really interacted a whole bunch in the. No, this is the Ice Bobby Drake, I think it is, whatever it is. But
okay. And
then they had a Firestar rather, that was like just introduced her in the. No, but it was even still they fought the classic Marvel villains. It was, again, it's part of my Saturday mornings. It was Spider-Man, so just one I grew up with. I got to put on my list. New one, Creature Commandos. This is the newest James Gunn thing.
I've heard this.
Gotta watch it,
guys.
Oh,
is that the one with Weasel in it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
gotta watch
Okay.
it on
I should
Max.
watch
You'll,
that.
you'll enjoy it.
Too.
A
Yeah.
lot of fun. Not for kids. Violent and sex and everything, but still, a lot of fun. Definitely check it out.
Does the weasel fuck?
Ooh.
No.
No.
Who doesn't enjoy some of those animated titties? Get some of that animated titty meat right here in front of me, baby.
Not really a superhero-ish. Thundar the Barbarian. He sort of had some powers with his sun sword and everything. That's kind of reaching it a bit. And classic
Those guys-
1960s reruns. Growing up as a kid, Underdog. Gentlemen, our viewers
Oh,
watched
yeah.
Underdog.
Yeah, I remember Underdog.
Yes, a lot of fun. Part of my childhood. Always enjoyed Underdog. That's it. That's what I got.
I used to get in trouble for putting my hands in my underdogs. No, my underoos. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I was surprised neither one of you 80s kids had anything to say about He-Man.
For me, yeah, it was sort of past that. I was getting to the age. I was just a little bit too old for that.
Gotcha.
For
Okay.
me. Yeah.
Okay.
But very
All right.
popular. Yeah, for sure.
Good shit.
They
We
have a
did
live action
good.
movie they're casting for that.
No, casting. They're filming now.
Are they filming? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There you go. Yep.
I-
All right. Sorry.
I'd hurt my shoulder, or because they did a body double, but
Sure.
I hurt my shoulder. I couldn't quite make that.
For what? For Orko or?
Yeah. Yes. I'd have been good too, motherfucker.
Where's that Orko guy? He hurt his shoulder.
Damn it. Well, let's just go CGI. Fuck it.
Get that orangutan in here. Yeah.
Dean
I was
misses
this
a shot
close.
for fame
Yeah.
again.
That's right.
All right, gentlemen, we have done it.
That's it.
We
We have
did.
done it.
Well, we've done it, and now all that there is left to do is it's on you now, the listener, to go and find us on all of your favorite social media accounts. You can find links to them by going to Google and typing in Convincing Idiots Link Tree, and you can follow those links. Be sure to find us, give us a nice little thumbs up or subscribe or whatever you feel is appropriate. You can also go to our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com, to stay in the know with all things Convincing Idiots, and where you can listen to this podcast each and every week. So, this has been episode of 237 of Convincing Idiots. I'm Millennial Nick.
Zennial Dean.
Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you that the power is yours?